All right, Skinny, joint practice, pretty eventful one. Let's start with just the Joe Burrow sighting, the thing that fans, of course, have been waiting for, and even some of his teammates and coaches.
Yeah, and it was a little bit by surprise. I had a guy, Tony Pike, who we know from local radio, came in and said, Joe's getting on a cart and coming out. And I thought, Tony and I kid with each other a whole lot, trust me. And I thought, okay, sure he is. And all of a sudden I looked up, and there he was on the field, so we all taken a picture and tweeted it out. Talked to Brian Callahan about the practice itself afterwards, but also about what it meant to have Joe Burrow out there. And I think it was important for Joe to be out there. I mean, listen, you know, for him, he is all about football, and it has to drive him crazy to have to sit inside while these guys are practicing, do whatever he's doing to rehab or getting a lift in or whatever he's doing in the locker room, you know, while these guys are practicing. So today I think it was probably by design. Feeling better, obviously. We've seen him walking around, so that part seems to be at least, you know, making progress. But I think for him, just maybe mentally coming out to see it when it mattered. This practice mattered more than the other practices too, and a chance to kind of see some things at a little more of a full speed and against somebody else. So it was good for Joe, and I'm sure it was good for teammates to see him out here too. And certainly, and you mentioned it, great for the fans. Yeah,
because Joe was on his feet and walking around and talking to Browning and Simeon and also Sinnott, but you know, doing some, giving his observations about what was going on out there. But he did take the cart off, and when he came out, you would have thought it was Taylor Swift or something. I mean, the screaming was insane. Let's talk about one other quarterback, because Sean Clifford, coming into this joint practice, had said he was disappointed he wasn't going to get to see Joe and see how he goes about his business. What'd you think of the St. X Bomber?
Yeah, and you and I spent most of the day on the Bengals offensive side of things. So one field, just for people who may not know and weren't here, the Bengals offense versus the Packers defense was on one field, and the Bengals defense against the Packers offense was on another field. You could see a little bit of what was going on there, but the field that you and I were on primarily, we watched the Bengals offense. But I did see him in that last 2-minute drill where they commingled the guys all on one field together, and he struggled. But listen, the Bengals defense, from what I was told from I had an observer
that might have been a factor, right?
The Bengals defense really had a good day against that Packers offense. But listen, what a valuable time for him to get a chance to run with the twos when this is a guy who wasn't even sure he was going to get drafted. Remember, we saw him here at that Bengals tryout day. And it wasn't really a tryout, the local workout day. And, you know, you thought, okay, maybe the Bengals would have some interest in him as an undrafted free agent. Never got to that. Packers thought enough of him to draft him in the 5th round and plug him in as the backup. I looked at the depth chart. I'm like, I don't even know who the number 3 guy is. He's a kid from Florida International.
I didn't recognize his name either.
I had no idea. So, I mean, what an opportunity for Sean Clifford. So, unfortunately for him, the period I saw wasn't the best, but, you know, hopefully he had a better day otherwise than that.
What you did see a lot of, and what I noticed, and you saw a lot more of the offense than I did today, working the ones, which was great to see them go against actual competition that wanted to deny them in the Packers. One of the things that stood out to me is, what if Joe Burrow had been making that pass?
No question.
You know, there would have been a lot more completions.
No, there's a running joke about Sports Illustrated just did a national story on, boy, the Bengals won't be the same team without Joe Burrow. Revelation. But then, you know, it's funny to say that, but when you literally see it, you go, yeah, that probably was going to be a touchdown, or that pass was going to be better. I mean, the red zone period for the 2 quarterbacks, the main 2, and all 3 of the Bengals quarterbacks got reps today. Simeon and Browning split reps with the 1s and the 2s, going back and forth a piece by design, just to kind of give them a fair gauge either way. The red zone period was not very good for either one of those guys. There was a drive it down the field period where they literally start with a 1st down, move to a 2nd down, move to a 3rd down, where the first team offense did move the ball pretty well. But you're right, overall, I mean, listen, there was a bunch of times you go, Joe Burrow makes that throw, or Joe Burrow does this, Joe Burrow gets it out of his hands a little bit quicker, and listen, that's why he's a starter. That's why he's not just a starter. You're talking a top tier, whatever you want to put him in your tier, 2, 3, whatever behind Patrick Mahomes, and not very far behind Patrick Mahomes. So, yeah, it's going to make a difference, right?
The other thing I've seen is, especially Jamar will say, I was open.
Yes.
You didn't get it to me.
2 days ago, they were running a red zone drill. He ran an out route against DJ Ivey, and seeing it on somebody's Twitter, you know, after seeing it live, because he literally said that throw was late, and he wasn't wrong. And then when you see it on the tape, you're like, ooh, that was really late. And DJ Ivey makes a good play to come across, bat it away, etc.
But he shouldn't have been there.
Possession with it. You're right. And so, yeah, I mean, those are the little things that show up. Because it's not like Joe Burrow has this howitzer where you're like, man, but the ball it's just different.
Just
the ball
quick,
placement's
right?
different. The decision making is quick. You're right, and different. And it's supposed to be. I mean, no offense, Trevor Siemian hasn't played many games in this league in the last few years, and Jake Browning's never taken a snap in an NFL regular season game. Listen, if those guys were capable of doing that at this point, they both would be playing a lot.
It does make you cherish more. That combination of Burrow and Chase is just magic.
And keep in mind, T. Higgins did not go today either. He was dressed for practice, but he did not participate in the 11-on-11s. Then it makes you wonder, was today a business decision day? And again, I don't blame the guy for that. If not, if it was just a rest day, it was just a rest day. But I didn't think it was supposed to be planned as one. But he did not go because today was supposed to be the day that the starters went, and we probably won't see very many on Friday. You might see Nick Scott and Dax Hill just to get them some more reps together, and that might be it among the starters that we see on Friday. So today was supposed to be that day. So interesting situation with T. He's been so good in practice. I mean, just from a performance standpoint, and just the fact that he shows up with the contract thing holding over his head and performs at a high level despite that, today makes you give a little pause of, wonder if there's something there.
God, we got to get that guy signed because he is so impressive, even at this level of just watching the moves he makes, the catches he makes. One of the newcomers, Irv Smith, we got to see him in a higher level of competition. What was your impression?
Yeah, he made a really good diving catch of a ball. I think it was a red zone period. I have to go back and look at my notes, and I'll have a column on that at local12.com, kind of the observations of the day. But he did have a nice catch down in that red zone period. He repped a little bit with both the ones and the twos. They were kind of mixing and matching the tight ends. But if he stays healthy, he's a big plus. I mean, there's no question. He's very athletic, got great hands. Probably stretches the field a little more than Hayden Hurst would down the seam. Although Hayden wasn't a slow guy, but Hurst probably a little more athletic. I think the big thing for him, and it's just been the knock since he's been in the league, is can he stay healthy?
One of my favorite sights today is the come off. He had traded in his helmet for a birthday hat. It's his 25th birthday. It seems like he's been in the league forever.
Well,
he's only
5 years, right?
Only 25. Right. Another guy who we haven't seen a lot of, and maybe wondered, is he not making enough of an impact? Miles Murphy, what'd you think of? I know we were on the other field. But
so I was told that Miles Murphy had a great day. The defensive line, old DJ Reader, had a great day, which kind of led to the fights. I think that that defensive front was dominating. I know DJ Turner got beat. We saw, I think it was the only play that really the offense got beat on, and you could see that from the other field. But apparently he had a really good day. Mike Hilton, we did see recorded an interception defensively, but what I was told from Miles Murphy, had a really, really good day today. He's not with the ones, but I think he's a kid. I think we see all the rookies on Friday. I'm interested to see how he does on Friday when actually you can go tackle somebody as opposed to get close and not be able to tackle somebody.
That'll be another step up. Won't that be cool to see football players actually tackling one another, and we'll get a better read on some of these guys who are either trying to win a position or just make the roster. That's on Local 12, Friday at 7 against the Packers.